Before, I used to be so scared to fail. And the irony is that the more I was scared to fail, the more I failed. But where I am currently
Don't give
in
it
my
down.
life, I love failure. Failure to me now is expo. It lets you see the solution quickly.
So this is not how to do this.
It's like repeating a class.
Mm.
You do a class, it's so difficult to repeat. And you know how cases they will show me like, oh, you repeat your life, don't you go be arm robber. But when you now repeat, you're now tearing all the continuous assessment, 16 over 20, because and that is life, because life is not like life is not about first to
Welcome to the Cultural Handshake with Ademola Edo.
Welcome to another episode of the Cultural Handshake. And today we have with us Tayo Okeowo, the founder of OAV Productions, right?
Yeah.
A photography and videography production company. So Tayo, nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay. So like you said, my name is Adetayo Okeowo. Went to KC. Went to
Old
Babcock.
boys.
I'm currently into production, so I have a company that does. Our core is primarily documentaries, but we also shoot like corporate videos, TV commercials. Fun fact: we also do radio commercials. But
I didn't know that.
yeah, but we don't get a lot of the clients that know us that need those things from us know us. So when they are ready, when it's campaign season, you just reach out to us. Oh, we need radio commercials for these languages. We do it, but to the public eye, it's documentaries, corporate videos, even photography, photo shoots, and all that.
Okay. So, Tayo, where are you from?
Ogun State, Ijebu.
Yeah, Ijebu. So you're an Ijebu guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this. Wait, no. I'm not even going there. There's something.
Man is like this.
So there's something my dad said, and so my dad benefited from the Awolowo scholarships. They actually sent him to. They sent him to university in the UK for his masters and his PhD. But now in the southwest region, there were only two people that got it: him and somebody else, a scholarship. It was very competitive. So when there was one time I was talking to him about how much Awolowo benefited the Yoruba nation, and he said, correction, that it was mostly Ijebus that benefited from Awolowo's scholarship. That the other southwest regions had to really battle. Like he said, in Ondo State, there were only two slots, him and somebody else. So what do you think about that, or what have you heard about that?
I mean, I believe I've heard certain things around that issue, because I don't know if it's had to do with something that had to do with school, that they will tell you that, oh, if you are from so region, I can't remember what organization it was, but if you are from so region, you get like some type of discount. I know that my grandfather benefited from some level of free education, and he's always bragging about it, that whatever we're enjoying now, we're not enjoying anything. That during our lost time, that he keeps calling one particular ice cream. It's one branded
Are you
ice cream.
serious? They used to give them.
They just give them like
Oh,
free
wow.
meals, free all
Yeah.
that. They give them pocket money.
So yeah, in Jand, my dad used to collect an allowance by the southwest region. So he did his university degree, his masters, and his PhD, all paid for by the government, and he was getting an allowance. Crazy.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. So yeah. So the first question I have is, how do you feel about your place in Nigeria as an Ijebu man? Or do you see yourself as an Ijebu man, or you're just
So
Tayo?
funny enough, I don't see myself as the typical stereotypical type of Ijebu person that people think Ijebu people are.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I
Is
don't.
your fist tight?
I don't think that. I don't think I'm stingy. Oh. Well, a lot of people in the
Well,
past
it's not-
have said
it's-
I'm stingy,
Okay.
but I think there are a lot of people that can say that I'm extremely generous. My dad was generous, so I know that I'm very, very, very generous. But if you don't have money now, you try to say you're stingy, say you're generous.
You just
They
be
can't
quiet.
tell.
They are stingy.
When the right time comes, you experience me. That's what I tell.
No, I think I saw on Twitter where somebody said that that's a broke boys talk. So don't worry, you will enjoy me. Don't worry.
Enjoy me.
God will help us all.
But also, what I think really like makes me think that I'm really Ijebu is like the culture. Do you get like
What is Ijebu culture?
so? I
And
know
there's one thing I
that.
know, like there's this lawyer I used to work with, and I know that it's like nearly all Ijebus know themselves
Yeah,
because they all go back home and they have all these activities
yeah.
where the families meet.
Mhm.
So it's like they all know themselves, sha.
And there's this story that my grandma, because my God bless her, so she's late. She used to tell us stories, about how she grew up and all that in Ijebu and all that. And she would say that their neighbors, like their fence, they didn't even really have fences,
Mm.
right? Because there was no security issue and all that. Everybody, because it was a small community, everybody knew each other by name. They knew each other's children by name. So it was that easy. And also, there was also something specific. If somebody in that place had gotten his wealth through ill-gotten means, right?
It's looked down on.
They would, yeah, like it's almost like as if Ijebu people look down on people that if you didn't get your wealth the legitimate
Through
way,
hard work.
everybody will praise you, but the Ijebus will be like, "Mm." They value like the respect on their name over money. And I know, and I think that's how you can easily identify like an Ijebu person. Like
Is that how it is till today?
it's still like
For
that till
real?
today.
Are you
Yes,
sure?
yes, I believe so. Well, the ones that are truly like rooted in Ijebu culture, that is like I was raised up by my grandparents, particularly my grandma. So all that things that let's say modern parents can allow to fly, my grandma would never let it slide, and she would always remind you that that's how her mom trained her. And pardon my language, she didn't turn out to be a bastard. So that's how she's going to train you, and you're going to turn out
So
the
I
same
had
way.
this conversation with someone on the concept of omoluabi,
Yeah,
and I was saying that to a large extent, I won't say it's dead, but I feel it's dying because now in Yoruba culture, people with ill people, you don't know, so you just wake up one day, you see one guy has made money and he's being celebrated. I don't want to name names, but you see people online, you see them being celebrated, you see them getting titles, and the whole concept of Omoluabi, somebody who is well trained, somebody who is respectable, somebody who does the right thing. So, from your perspective in today's culture, who is an Omoluabi?
I feel like
And does it still exist?
I think it exists, right?
Because if you don't have money,
Hmm.
nobody sends you.
Yeah, so I think at the
So
end of
can you be a broke Omoluabi?
yes, you can.
And would the so now the thing is that before,
Yeah,
if you're a broke Omoluabi,
yeah,
people will still respect you.
yes.
Nowadays, would they respect you?
No, they won't respect you. But like I always say, the
So
most
what's the incentive to be an Omoluabi?
self-awareness. Do you get? Like, that saying of it doesn't matter what people think of you, so long as you know yourself. Like there's this TikTok video that I keep seeing where you see toddlers playing and they keep making noise. Then one of the child just gets self-awareness and just says, "Why are we playing with toys? Why are you shouting? Why are we crying? Why are we all wearing diapers?" But basically what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you know you've done the right thing and you're doing the right thing by the books, you can sleep well at night and not have to worry about it. You can sleep peacefully and not think about anything happening to you. Wealth does not necessarily bring peace of mind or happiness. Do you get?
True, true.
Like I was driving one day, right? I noticed this lady. So in my area, there's this particular area whereby when there's no light, the families come out, like all these small housing estates. The families come out, they spread a mat next to uncompleted beds, and they just get fresh
Yeah,
air.
everybody's chilling.
Yeah, Jiggy, and I saw the lady. She wore a wrapper. She was carrying the baby up and just vibrating the baby. The baby would laugh. Then she bring him down, then bring it up, and there was something about that baby's laughter. It was so rich and so journeying. Like there's no money that you could have paid that child to have laughed like that. That child was genuinely happy. He didn't see whether we're living in a self-contained. He didn't check whether we don't have light. At that point in time, they are enjoying true happiness, true peace. So I believe like being an Omoluabi, right, gives you that genuine happiness and true peace, knowing that you're respectful, you've not done anything to stain your name, and at the end of the day, you can sleep peacefully, sleep happily. People, everybody's always saying, "Do give away? Oh, do you have money?" Blah blah. Blah. It's not your business.
At the party, are not spraying.
Do you understand?
Mm.
But it's not about that. I feel like Omoluabi people, also Ijebu, they may not have the best money, but if they go for parties, they are well dressed, their white is white, they always look sharp. Do you understand? Even wealthy people see them and know that this guy, you can't buy this guy with money. And they are very, very like that. I know one person whereby they were supposed to sell his land, right? And he just didn't like the nature of the people who wanted to purchase that land because he just felt like they were shady and all that. And he said, it's not even about the money. Like, an Ijebu, a true Ijebu person would rather sell his property to someone who feel that the name is respectable over money. Do you get? So that's, but they are not much. You know, a lot of the culture has
Watered down.
diluted,
Yeah.
yeah, but the true ones, they are there.
So how do you think we can bring that spirit back to Nigeria in a because Nigeria is becoming a proper capitalist nation.
Yeah.
How do we bring that Omoluabi spirit back?
Yeah, I think that we need to be. I think we don't have content that edifies and teaches moral lessons. What I would say is, like, when I was young, I watched a lot of Disney cartoons. I liked it because they were colorful and they were interesting and funny. But I always noticed subconsciously that at the end of every Disney cartoon, there's always a moral lesson. Like, so the moral lesson is friendship, love, blah 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 blah. We need content, cultural content, from, because a lot of people don't even know where they come from. They don't know the language. They don't know, like, what are the characteristics of being a true Ijebu person. They don't even know. They don't have an idea. Where did you originate from? Where are your ancestors? But if you try and, like me, if you try and teach me academically, I would run away from it. But if you tell it in form of storytelling,
Mm.
you get, to me, I'm seeing an interesting story. But at the end of the day, I know my ancestors. I know where we are from. I know what it takes to be an Ijebu person. Do you understand? So I think we need more shows like that. I think we also need more. There needs to be family values and people spreading that culture down. I think that parents need to also have their children spend more time with maybe grandparents, because that is the easiest way. These guys have endless of stories. They can tell you so many things. Because I like elderly people, because this life is a circle. It occurs in patterns, right? A lot of things that are happening now have occurred before, right? I remember one time I was having an issue in my business, and I used to go to my grandmom's house to work. Normally, she'd be like, Kushel, God will bless your business and all that. And one day, randomly, out of boredom, I just said to tell her some of the issues I was facing in my business. And she's not like, I remember in 60 something, my mother faced this, and the story she gave me, the solution for my problem was there. The only difference is the time was far back, everything was. I was just like, why didn't I ask this woman since? Because I just assumed she's a grandmother, she's old, she has nothing to tell me, she doesn't know
It's old
what's
school.
going through. Do you understand? Meanwhile, these guys know. These guys have been young before. They've done everything before. So they are the best. It's like old people are like the best way to see into your future. That's the way I can categorize them. So I feel like if children spend more time with grandparents, they can learn a lot about their culture. Families need to be more family oriented. Not just give your child tab and all that. You can have maybe on Sundays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. cultural time, or 6:30 to 7 p.m. on Sundays cultural time. Oh, let me give you gist about, and you'll be surprised. Those children will be very excited to listen to things like that. And I feel like slowly and surely we'll start. It's like how you watch Black Panther. They are literally talking about culture, but it's told in a very interesting manner. So you want to learn. You know more about Wakanda than our own culture. I think we need to start, reaching back to what our culture
So
is.
something random I used to do, like there was a time when the inverter was bad, and when they take lights, I found I can't remember what I got white candles for. You know those normal white candles.
Yeah.
So I put on the candles, and me and my kids will sit around a stool, and I'll start telling them stories of Shango and the rest, and I'll make it scary. Then you could see in their eyes, you see them looking at this like, what happened? What happened? So I think I should bring that back.
Yeah,
I think I should bring it back. So yeah, so what misconceptions do people have about Ijebu people?
that we are stingy.
Is it true?
Some are stingy.
Okay.
I can always.
And I heard that Ijebu people are doing business with them,
Yeah.
that they will negotiate you to the bare bones.
Ah.
Are you like that?
There's this trick. Every time I talk, I think my grandmom is the closest person to that I can give as a perfect example of an Ijebu person. So here's what my grandmom would do. Say she likes buying yam from Hausa people, right? My grandmom lived in the north as well, so she speaks very good Hausa.
Ah, nice.
But she will never speak Hausa in public.
Why?
She only speaks it in important occasions, and I'll give you this specific example. So she'll meet this Hausa guy. Ah, well done, no. You know, these Hausas, they also understand Yoruba. So Yoruba to them, like, I like your yam, oh, not today, I won't buy yam. How much? Let's say yam is 3,000. Yam na 3,000. 3,000, okay. Make I buy 1,000. No. 2,5. This one na today, see how me fresh. No. Now 1,000, I won't buy them. No. Okay, you know what? Let's say the guy now agrees on 1,600, right? In that 1,600, he starts to say his displeasure in Hausa, like, okay, just take her 1,600. I will just give you 1,600. He will now be insulting her in Hausa. As he insults her in Hausa, I think she will not respond to him in Hausa. The guy just be like, no, it's not like that, She will not say, for that, it's 1,000, I'm buying this yam. And she'll buy that in 1,000.
So she does it on purpose.
Yes, because we follow her to the market. She does it on purpose. My grandmother, how do you buy this thing? Say, you don't worry.
So those are one of the benefits of speaking multiple languages.
Yeah. And there are sometimes I remember when we do Christmas shopping, nice Adidas sneakers. I'll carry my grandma to the to the boutique. By the time my grandma will just say, bring chair for me first.
Let me relax.
Bring malt. She'll now start pricing. Shoe that they put on shelf say 7,500. If that guy is not careful, 4,500, he will sell those shoes.
Okay, to be honest, I'm actually like that.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, when there was one time he's just started working in UB. I wanted to get suits. So you know where in Mandilas where they sell the suits.
Yeah.
So I took him there, and the guy said the suit was 16K. I started laughing. And he was ready to pay. I said, "Are you crazy?" So we ended up getting 3 suits for 24.
What?
Yeah. So he now got to the stage that he even used to tell his family members that, please, if you are going somewhere, take the money with you. You know. So I think I learned it from my mom as well, and how she used to. I think I even negotiate better than my wife. But depending on what it is, if I see value, and I see if I see value, I'll like, let me give you benefit of the doubt. But if I see things common, you and I will die there. You know. Yeah, this is another question. What do you think about the religious and cultural tolerance in the Southwest compared to other parts of Nigeria? And do you think it's changing? Because let me use Lagos. In Lagos, you know, I schooled in Unilag, and in Unilag there was the mosque was beside the church, and on Fridays, everybody in the mosque used to park in church premises, and on Sundays, when the church parking is full, everybody would park in the mosque, and nobody had issues with it. And also, the way Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, everybody really gets along in Lagos. Everybody just wants to do business. To a large extent, I think it's like that in those states as well. You know, the Igbos, they are doing their business. Most times, everybody just respects themselves. And the Hausas, they have the Hausa community. They kind of keep to themselves, but at the same time, you don't disturb them, they don't disturb you. Mm-hmm. So the question is, like I said, why are people from the Southwest more tolerant about other ethnicities, other tribes, other cultures? And do you think it's changing? The reason why I'm saying, do you think it's changing? Because of the last election and how people
went into tribal wars and all that. I feel like there's perception on what people see online, and there's reality on what is on ground. So because I do documentaries, more often than not, when I started doing documentaries in Lagos before I started traveling to the north, I just think like north is like really dangerous. Like if you go there, you have to be really careful. Don't tell people where you're going to. You get so that nothing bad happens to you. But I now find out that when I go to these places, they're actually like very safe. Do you get
very chilled?
Very chill. Like food is cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. It's almost like it's only in Lagos that food is expensive.
Let me tell you this story. There was one time I went to Ilori for business, and I told the guy that I wanted to eat. They took me to this popular place where they do pounded yam. So I ordered, can't remember, maybe 200 naira pounded yam. And I said, okay, that they should give me meat. I said, how much is meat? I think it was 15 naira. And being Lagos, 15 naira is small. I said, okay, give me 4. When I said, give me 4, the guy looked at me. I said, why is he looking at me now? Everybody else that I wanted to buy food, this one looked at me. He's eating 4 meat. You now brought the place. The meat was as big as my fist. 4. I said, I don't understand. I said, can I return it? He said, no, because they already mixed it in stew. So the meat big like my fist, four.
Massive.
When I finished eating it, I slept. I went back to the office because we're doing an order, so I was waiting for bank confirmation. As I was waiting there, the kind of sleep that they brought a bench for me.
What?
The sleep that you scatter body and sleep. It was crazy. That was the Lorry anyways. So yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, and I found out that most of these places like very chilled, no issues, very friendly. They all start telling you, "Oh, you're from Lagos. Ah, I remember when someone from Lagos came in. We did this, we did that. Jewelry, like went to Kano, went to buy jewelry. Fantastic guy. I even thought when my photographer was by, I was like, what's going to be expensive? By the time we saw the price, everything was not up to like 7,000. It's Lagos, we're shooting one time. Our driver then that was taking us around, right? The guy is Muslim, and it was time to pray, and there was a mosque for so far, and something amazing happened. The guy just said he needs to quickly pray, he needs to park. So he parked beside the street. He's not been there before, and he knocks on the gate. He doesn't know who the person is. Oh, person answers. The person he now says, he wants to pray. Oh, do you know what that guy did? That guy brought out mats, brought out water for him to wash his hands. While that guy was praying in the compound, this other guy was praying outside. They don't know each other from Adam. Like it's like almost everything stops and everybody. When I saw that, I was like, because I was about to fly my jaw, I was like, I've never experienced this
in
before.
Nigeria.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I now said, that your friend is nice. You say, that's how the culture is here. That it doesn't know it from anywhere, but they understand each other and all that. So these are some of the things that change my. I'm not saying that there isn't still risk in some of these other places, but from what I have experienced, everything has I feel like culture. Everybody has been very tolerant of each other, especially with religion. But I also noticed that online there are people that try to manipulate the narrative so that it suits them. Try to make you think like there's a cultural divide so that they can, or a religious divide, so that they can acquire more votes or they can distract the other party. I don't want to speak too deeply into that, but do you get they work in camps? Oh, okay, this people will believe most of these times, these footages that you see Christian and Muslim killing each other, I'm not saying that they don't happen, but they'll be bringing out old footages. Before you can debunk and say, oh, this is an old footage, the damage has already been done. People are already fighting each other. I don't want to see you on my street. I don't want to see you in my house. Do you understand? So I feel like there needs to be how we can look at the information and say, how credible is this information? This person that is saying this thing regarding cultural divide, like, what is the goal? Are they trying to divide us? Because like we're a multi-cultural and multi-religious nation, or is there a hidden agenda as to why this person is doing such? So I just think that with time, thankfully with technology that we're going to debunk this, is also technology that is spreading all this misinformation and all that. But we'll get there eventually.
So another one: does religion raise the pre-existing cultures of society, and how religious are you?
Does religion raise?
It raised the pre-existing cultures of a society. And first question: how religious are you?
I'm 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 very religious.
Speedo Jim Jim.
So it's weird. Like when I was younger, right? I was religious because my mom was religious.
Yeah.
Then at some point in time, when you enter the what's the meaning of life phase, I kind of like fizzled out. When life showed me Pepe. I found God though.
You're on back to the Almighty.
What? What? Because there's some things you experience, and your mom will be like, what is so for anybody on and you just not just the and you just say
old school.
Make her just try this thing, and you just try, and the problem just stops. It's like,
So randomly, Redeem is starting this. There's this 50 days fasting that they do.
Yeah.
I remember I did the one 2023, and I saw crazy changes in my life. So the second one is starting on the 11th of January, Thursday, and I'm actually looking forward to it. If anybody had told me in the past that you'll be looking forward to a 50-day fast, I have said the crack you're smoking is going to return you to that. But I'm actually looking forward to a 50-day fast.
Yeah.
That was one of the most trying things I've ever done before. But now I'm looking forward to it because I know that, when I do this, I know the things I'm working towards or the things I'm praying for will most likely occur. So God is amazing.
It is. And I need to give you one story. So this was early in 2008. I started my business in 2017 after I resigned. So 2018, I was still like pushing and trying to do videos. I'd worked in the agency, so I had the experience of doing documentaries and corporate videos. But human beings try to be careful because yes, you say you've done all these things, but I don't want to be like the one you test run with. I want to be sure that you done it under your own company. If not, no, I don't want to work with you. I get a random mail. I don't want to mention it, but I get a random mail from a top oil and gas company saying that they went through my website and they needed me to pitch for a documentary production. When I saw how big the oil and gas company was, and I looked at the current state of my business, I said, "It's not possible. It's definitely a scam mail." So I ignored it. I actually moved it to spam.
Yeah.
Right. Then I think 2 days to the deadline, they sent me a follow-up mail that all the vendors they've reached out to have sent their RFPs, as a request for proposal, but I haven't still sent mine. That I should please send it and also CC this individual. When I saw that individual's name and the oil and gas company name, I said, this thing is true. I did the whole breakdown, did submission, I was part of like the top three they selected. So those three, they now had to like further save it down. They invited us to the office. When I got to the office, I'm like, so is this computer thing and camera thing that is bringing me here? Like they will tell me, do you have an appointment? I'll be like, I have an appointment with so and so. They'll check. Oh, your name is. I'll be like, they really put my name down. Do you get? And that was one of the things that just motivated me and just said like, man, this is not my efforts. Like, I think this is God because it's ridiculous. Do you understand? Or how I started working with government. Prior to working with government, you don't want to know the number of proposals I've sent to Alausa.
Numbers.
You don't want to know. Either me directly or somebody that wants to do the job and says, "Oh, you're the video guy, so give me all the things I need." We send the proposal. It's always story. Random day like this, they hit me up that they want me to do a photo shoot for someone. I even gave them bill. I didn't even cut it to show that I was not doing anything. This is my bill. Pay for my photography. Do you understand? And the lady comes, and because me, I have this way of like I don't know who anybody is, so I just speak to anybody like I'll make crack jokes and all that. And and the woman just said, "You're a very funny guy. Like, what else do you do besides photography?" I said, "I do video. I do documentaries." She said, "You do documentaries? See me in my office." When she gave me a card, and I looked at the card, it was Commissioner to Agriculture. I was like, "Eh?" But very cheap because she's like all about work. She doesn't like all that packaging nonsense that people do. And when I got there, like there's a chain of people still waiting, like I used to. And oh, we are here. Okay, the meeting is starting soon. Please enter. And I was just like, this is the grace of God, honestly. Because some people will look at me and be like, what was the connection? There's literally I was doing my normal job. Do you get? So I believe that one is, and I feel like this life is very spiritual. That the fact that you go out and come back in safely, there are a lot of battles that have happened in the spiritual realm, right? So one has to be very self-aware about things like this. One has to be careful about the tongue because tongue is very powerful. So I know that sometimes people can try to say things that they don't mean about themselves. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they don't have enough self-confidence, or they just feel they haven't done well. So they say, but you need to be careful of what you say about yourself because those things can manifest, and they don't just manifest now. They manifest years later when you are deeply rooted into that issue. You now look back and remember that 10 years ago you said this about yourself, and it has manifested in the physical. Before, when my mom says things like this, I'll be like,
Old school.
Nollywood, calm down. That's what I tell her.
Old school
Now
mama.
it's me and her that are telling my niece, and she's telling the better. Yeah, it's in jail. Better. Whoa. But we thank God. We thank
Thank
God.
God.
We thank God.
So yeah. So now based on this, so I believe myself too. I'm very religious, but at the same time, I also believe I'm very cultural. Like I respect the cultures, and I don't want the cultures to die. So do you think religion erases culture? So there are certain cultural rights, like for example on the radio. I don't know if you listen to Uncle Jimmy on the radio.
What station is that?
Nigerian Info.
Okay, no, it's been a while.
So in the morning, it's 7:30 to 8. So he's always very upset when he sees a traditional ruler in church.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people took comments on that. Saying, oh, that um, as a traditional ruler, you're the custodian of the cultural rights of those people. But at the same time, there's this BBC documentary I watched on history of Africa, and before I used to think Christianity was a white man's religion, but Christianity was first taking root in Africa and Ethiopia and Sudan. The first kings, the first Christian kings were the Ethiopian and Sudanese kings. They were one of the first to convert to Christianity before they now moved to, is it the Middle East, and started from there. So it's changed my perspective on things. I'm like, this Christianity is not a white person's religion, no. And those Sudanese and Ethiopian kings converted to Christianity. They still had their different cultures that evolved with Christianity. So what do you think about that? Back to the question about Christianity erasing culture and this new um, argument on traditional rulers being following in the way of Islam or the way of Christianity, and they feel that is erasing some traditional cultures.
Well, I think that, like, traditionally, right, once you have like strong traditional rights and you do the utmost best to preserve those rights, I don't think that religion is going to erase it. But I do agree that these tradition and religion needs to find a way to work hand in hand. And why I'll say that is, like, sometimes in churches when they are doing like outreach programs and you want to do outreaches in certain villages and all that, there are certain activities you can't do without the permission of the Oba, or the person, because if anything goes wrong or if something happens and we hide under the name of religion, do you understand? And I see most of these cultural people also come, or sometimes come to the church to give like appreciation for what they are doing for its people. Most of these churches, they help out with children's school fees, the welfare of people. They try to provide like vocational jobs that the women in those villages can also do. So I feel like there's a way that these two separate entities can work hand in hand. And at the same time, what does it mean to be Christ-like? I feel like you shouldn't just say, "Oh, okay," because this one, yes, they said do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. But if you really look at Jesus, who was the best example?
He tried to convert the unbelievers. The only way you
Jesus,
can convert them is by getting close to them.
yeah, by getting close to them, and he interacted with all of them. But at the end of the day, he never failed to, try to lead them to God, to say like this is it. But he would always interact with them. So I feel like, and I think that's where churches are also missing it today. They have this mentality of I'm saved and heaven is secure, so don't come near me.
Don't stay my
I will leave
whites.
it. Do you understand? Nah, like you guys need to interact, but you also need to ensure that at every single time you're spreading the message to. So I don't think that Christianity is removing religion or sorry, cultural rights or vice versa. But I just think that we need to find a way to work with each other hand in hand, because we can't do without each other. I feel like Nigeria is like a multi-religious country and a multi-cultural. So we just have to find a way to
What do you think
cohabit.
about the where the Pope invited trans people to was it for his service?
Yeah.
So at first, when I first heard about it, I was upset. Like, why would the Pope do that now? You know that these trans people, they're unbelievers, one thing. But my wife told me something, and she said that if the Pope is bringing them close,
Yeah.
once he brings them close, they'll be more they'll be more open to hearing the word.
Yeah.
Once they hear the word, they might see the folly in their ways,
Yeah.
and some might be saved.
Yes.
What if the Pope pushes them away, say you are bad, go?
Yeah.
Then they just say, oh, this Christianity, they don't hate me, they don't like me. And like you said, Jesus was rolling with the sinners and the prostitutes and the unbelievers.
Yeah.
So she said that he's doing the right thing. And once she said that, I just saw things differently, you know?
Yeah. But what I also want to say is that that is also fine, but we should also, like, I feel like with Christianity, the Bible is absolute. Do you understand? Like, I've been hearing stories of how maybe transgender people will come to the church and come and do something for children, and I'm just like,
No,
nah.
no.
Do you understand?
Mm.
Because I remember, I mean, God is helping with the Bible, but I remember one time that they turned the church into a marketplace, and Jesus was upset. He came in and was like,
Mm.
So that's like, yes, even though I interact with you and I do all that, the Bible is still absolute. There are certain things that are not done and certain things that can be done, and we need to be very mindful. Yes, we can be accepting of all that, but not like remixing the Bible or
Mm,
remixing our religion because we want to accommodate transgender people.
mm.
That's where I have an issue with that.
Okay, so now, as someone in photography and videography,
Hmm.
what's your view as you observe the different kinds of Nigerians from behind the lens? So when you're recording, you watch people.
Yeah.
I know it's stalker. I know. So you watch people, and I know people behave differently when they're being recorded.
Yeah.
So what have you observed?
Should I talk of the bad or the good?
Everything.
Okay, let me talk of the bad. I went to Mile 12 Market, right? I wanted to document, but they've also told me that I should be careful because when you bring out cameras, before you know what's happening, the government has come and said, oh, yeah, everybody, because we've said, this place is not good. Government wants to come and rehabilitate the place. People might lose their shops and all that. So they don't like seeing all
Yeah,
that.
do you know I did? Okay, yeah.
When I brought out camera, I didn't know that they were following me at the back.
Who, Agberos or who?
So there was how will I put it? They're like people that secure that market, right?
I go there. I go there.
And funny story, bringing it back to culture, the Igbo people are the ones that secure that market, which can be normal,
About
right?
12.
Yeah, like there are people that coordinate and guide, make sure that they're doing the right thing and all that. But the person that they report to, one of the top people there, is Hausa.
Yeah. About
And
12
I'm
is
just
like a
like,
Hausa market. They
because
work so well together.
the guy that carried me, he carried me with. They had already put me close to cell until my security
Yeah.
person, my assistant, ran to call my security guy. That one now held his gun. I said, "What's happening?" I said, "No, he's just not doing the. Doesn't he know carry?" I said, "It's a lie. What they put me inside?" The way he carried me like I was meat. Like I've got you today. Told you no camera. Do you understand? Then
They don't fight in that market too.
but I also noticed that, like, culturally, I feel like Africa, Nigeria in particular, is still going to be very big. And I mean this from a content perspective. A cultural not all this, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, Nigerians. No. I mean from a cultural perspective. Sorry, it sounded like I was giving a shade. But what I mean is, when we see what makes you want to go to the maybe I should speak for myself. What makes you say not the US of now, the US of I think the US of now
It was the
just
culture.
weird. Yeah.
It was the culture.
But it's the way the culture was captured.
Yeah,
Like,
correct.
most of these things that you see, even from documentaries or TV shows, they are captured with the best equipment, tools, cameras, everything. So they are showing you their country from the best video production or imagery production where possible.
And you wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
But Nigeria hasn't been. No, I just think they're just weird. They do strange
Yeah,
things.
they're just weird.
Now, I feel like Nigeria hasn't been captured in that manner, but it has started. If you check out this guy called Nii Fagbemi, I don't know if you know that guy's page.
I think so.
He did this top 12 places to visit in Nigeria, and the visuals that he brought out, you had to ask yourself, is this Nigeria?
Yeah.
He had this place, this particular forest, all the trees were multicolored, different colors.
For real?
He had this particular river. You could see I'm not saying, not like...
There's one river is it Enugu that is clear?
That you can see the
I
rocks
think so.
clear. Like if you put your feet,
when they
you can
show,
see
there's
clear.
this guy Nigerian stories on Twitter that they show Borno. There's some sand dunes.
Do you know that that Nigerian stories, they posted that it was that Nii Fagbemi guy's video. Do you remember one video of the Ijebu people that trended?
Yeah, that guy.
That shot
Okay,
it has some about Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I'm now saying that we're not reaching it because if you really look at it, Nigeria has more interesting places to visit tourist-wise than any other country as far as me.
Because it's so big.
Do you understand?
Problem is security.
They have just not been documented.
And security.
Not necessarily security. Because they keep saying security. It's not everywhere. Most of all, because when you've not been there, I'm not saying there are no security issues, but a lot of these places, they over-exaggerate it for political reasons. And I'm not talking about Nigerian politics. I'm talking about the politics outside Nigeria. There are certain people that are doing certain things to make sure Nigeria remains the way it is, value-wise, so that they can exploit the resources that they get from us. Do you understand? Yes, Nigeria is a red, like, somewhere I go to every day, you see another white person telling their organization,
It's
"Oh, if you are
dangerous.
traveling here, get the polio clinic or get this injection for malaria." I remember one of my friends that worked in the UK and she wanted to visit her family. They said, "Oh, we need to get HR permission. Make sure that you get this shot. That if you don't get it and you go to Nigeria, you're on your own." It's like, my village that I go to, my Igbo village that I go to, are you people joking?
What about COVID? You know, where no most of let me not talk shit, but most people that didn't get the shot, they were fine. A lot of people, you know what, let me not say anything about COVID.
Yeah.
Before you two strike me. Let me not say anything about COVID. But yeah, like that those shots you saw. So but like so as you capture these people in your documentaries, what do you see like what's should I say like what is it like a mirror? Do you see yourself in other Nigerians or do you see something different?
I see a bunch of things. First of all, I see like the way I look at people, I think there are no rich or poor people. Like, let me give you an example. You as you are now, you've always been fresh. You look fresh, right?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right. Now there can be somebody like you that is on the streets, that is knocking on your window and begging for alms. And if this guy just does a clean shave and all that, he's going to look exactly like
I
you.
say this all the time. Condition.
Do you understand? It's just the condition that makes us look the way they are. I found that most of all these people, even with what they are going through, because I capture a lot of children on the street, when I'm trying to show context, people on the street, they are funny. They're always, even like, it's like you have more pity for them that they pity themselves in their current situation. It's almost like as if they've accepted their life for the way it is and they are happy. Do you understand? They might even ask you, like, are you happy? And you be like, oh, this 9 to 5, I don't know. I don't even know again. No.
It's funny. There was this Irish guy I was doing stuff with, and he said one time his business was slow, Naira was crashing, and he was just in his office thinking, oh man, how am I going to pay salary? What am I going to do? And he just looked out his window and he saw his security man eating and laughing. And he just thought about it that am I working for this guy or is this guy working for me? Because he's there, he's laughing, he's eating, having the time of his life. At the end of the month, collects his salary. Me, I'm here racking my brain, stress, smoking, drinking, thinking, oh God, how am I going to solve this problem? See, that guy is free as a bird.
And I think that brings us to the word contentment. Do you understand? Because another salary, another raise, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, there's always another milestone. What will genuinely make you happy? Do you understand? If money wasn't a limit. Because I feel personally, like if you have a poor mindset, and I see this on Twitter, I say money is not everything. People immediately bash me. What do you mean money is not everything? It's because you don't have money. If you are sick and you want to go to the hospital, don't you need money? There's some sickness that if they decide to get you, if God says your time is your time, there's nothing you can do about it. Do you understand? There are some people that they will fly abroad. They have all the money in the world and the sickness will just kill them. But I also feel like you need to have what they call contentment. You don't have everything in the world, but you're healthy. You are happy with what you have. You see your children every day. You're genuinely happy. You see your parents every day. They are okay. They don't have the best cars. They don't have the best. But when you say, mommy, I'm coming to her, she makes you the best pounded yam and egusi soup. You get, your dad is telling you how he got his first job for the 100th time. But you are eager to listen to that story because it makes you laugh. Or maybe you guys are taking Henneken while you guys are hearing that gist. Do you understand? Just that nostalgia of your childhood. Like, what really gives you happiness? Because clearly, it's not living in a 10-bedroom apartment, having a 60-inch TV, 100-inch. Like my uncle always says, there will always be a badder guy. There will always be a badder babe. There will always be badder teams, badder cars. You need to choose your bad and stick with it.
Now who buy car first? Now you buy old car. And going back to what you said about the lady in the uncompleted building taking fresh air, throwing her baby up and the baby laughing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she's seeing her baby laugh like that. It will fill her heart with joy. And a lot of people miss that. There's something that used to make me happy. I think so. I was at my in-laws' house on New Year's Day, and I was eating crab, and they were like, "I don't want to say you're eating the crab." So I told them that back in the day, my mom used to do pepper crab, and I loved the pepper crab and rice. So as I was eating the crab, I was remembering how she used to do pepper crab for me. So in my little corner, I'm sucking the crab. People are like, they're looking at you like, you don't understand. And, so yeah.
Fun fact: I can't eat anything that has more than 2 feet and looks like it used to be alive, or I will not try it. So
For real?
that crab, if I see the crab leg, I just feel like when I'm eating it, just
So you don't eat
move in my
shrimps?
mouth.
You don't eat shrimps?
I don't eat shrimps.
Ah.
I don't like. So if I don't know, so what my wife does is like she'll make it and hide it in my food. So if I don't know, I will
I'll
eat
cut
it.
it into small
But
pieces.
once I see shrimp, I'm going to separate it. I won't eat it.
My brother, yeah, I'm missing.
They say
So
so.
even
I
those
don't know.
jumbo shrimps, there's this what's this thing again? That they put in small chops, the long one.
Is it prawn or
No, there's samosa and spring rolls.
spring roll? I
So
don't like spring roll.
there's mayonnaise sprinkles with shrimps. You don't like that?
No.
Ah,
No, I
Ijebu
don't.
people.
And there's one bad habit that I have. We'll go to a expensive restaurant. It's time to eat. They give me the menu with all this funny
You
names.
pick rice.
Do you know what I'm looking for? Rice.
Oh,
Rice.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
that's what I
Oh my
understand.
God. You're one of those people. Oh, my wife tells me that anywhere I go to, I experiment.
Yeah.
So if I go for a buffet, I don't want to see anything I can eat normally.
Yeah.
I want to eat the most random thing, and I want to do the most random combos.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll see like what's this thing? What's it called again? Maybe I'll take hummus. It's pronounced hummus now. Hummus and what's this thing? Guacamole.
Uh-huh.
So I'll mix hummus, guacamole, and roasted potatoes
How
with
would it
shrimps.
taste like?
I want to know. So I do all those random mixing because, like, in a normal day, if you want to order that, your bill will be like 1 million.
Yeah.
But in a buffet, you can say, okay, this,
An
this,
experiment.
this.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, that's what I always do. I always do it. I don't. So you see some people eating pounded yam and F4. So this person can go to Jeff Nick and eat down. Now, can you try? Should I say flat bread with? There's this thing they did with onions and olive oil. Something. Then maybe you put a bit of cheese. Then you put now put turkey. So I love experimenting with food.
Yeah.
So yeah, another one. Do you believe in Nigeria? And has Nigeria happened to you?
So I feel like
From what you said, you believe in Nigeria.
I believe in Nigeria strongly. But I also feel like Nigeria has also happened to me in many ways, right? Where you're just going about your life, going about your growth, and something drastic happens to you, or you have a family member that has been attacked, and maybe because of hold up, you can't get the person to the hospital on time, or when you get to the hospital, you're saying without deposit, they see the person bleeding. Without deposit, we can't attend to you. You get those kind of things, or you're driving and trailer falls on the car in front of you, and you're just like, I just need to get out of this country. Like
So
something like this.
random. A colleague of mine, he was killed by a trailer. This is somebody that at the office he used to sit beside me, and when I heard he was dead, a trailer fell on him to cut him in half. I saw the video on Twitter. It was crazy. It was, in fact. Anyways, as you were saying,
That was very traumatic. Like
Rough.
But what I can also say is, as much as Nigeria is like this, I also strongly believe in Nigeria. Before when I was doing 9 to 5, I was in that bad wagon of this country, isn't it? Let me just find a way to move to Canada because that's the next safety net. And when I started doing my business, I started seeing a different side to Nigeria. Not necessarily because it's favoring my business, but I'm just seeing like, look, I feel like Nigeria is like land of opportunity. If you have something upstairs and you know what you're doing, you can rise very quickly in a very short period of time doing legitimate business. We have the numbers. A lot of countries don't have these numbers. Do you understand? Nigerians also, as much as they like to bash your product, they also like to patronize. Do you understand? So, and also there is a lack of customer service issue in this country. And I'm saying this out there. This is like a gold mine. Like, you don't even need to reinvent. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. If you have a product that is already in existence, but putting 101% on your customer service, your business can still do very well. Because, like, imagine a customer service telling a customer it's not your fault. It's because I decided to respond to your message today, and you'll be like, excuse me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like Nigeria, like a lot of things in a lot of all these countries, developed nations, so many things have already been developed. If you have to create something, you have to be extremely creative and imaginative and be like original. Here, there are a lot of things that we still need, a lot of problems that still need to be solved. That if you bring that out, look at the case of Paystack. Before Paystack came out, there was InterSwitch. I remember back then when I knew someone that used to work in InterSwitch. You needed, if you needed a website that needed that payment gateway, you needed to have paid like 150 something K
To
to
insert switch
InterSwitch.
for an API.
Do you understand? To
Yeah.
have that payment gateway. I don't even know if it was monthly. I think it was even monthly. Something ridiculous. And Paystack came in and the price crashed. Do you understand? And I mean, these guys, they went to Bangkok as well. Like, these guys have always been geniuses in school. But like, they are a classic case of an example that, look, if you know what you are doing, right, and the market loves your product, it's just a matter of time. So I feel like Nigeria is like that virgin that can still, give birth to so many initiatives, so many products, even with how far we've advanced, right? And I feel it won't take us long to catch up. See the case of the mobile phone period where they were in mobile phones. I remember my granddad was still. Well, how much did my mom get NTMC? She bought it for 25K.
Yeah, 20K, 25K
Do you
then,
understand?
yeah.
I still bought my NTMC like a month ago for 100 naira or something ridiculous.
I don't think I even pay. I just paid for airtime.
I think you just pay for, but I think this
Mm.
one they actually charged me 100 naira. But I'm even like, right now, right, like the GSM era, when it looked like Nigeria was far behind and they were in phones and all that, when the GSM era came, you saw the mass adoption. Or when Globalcom came in, when it was just MTN and Airtel, see like the mass adoption when people were paying for 15 naira per minute and it changed to per second billing, like so many things. That is what is going to happen, but in a very short period of time. Because I keep saying technology is what is going to save this country. Because when the gatekeepers are saying, look, this is what is making money for us, and we don't want you to find out this information, technology is exposing everything. I started, even though I had agency experience, I started my business by going to YouTube. I remember very well. I would buy 2,500 naira glow credits. They would give me 2,500 naira credit free. So the 2,500 naira credit I initially bought, I'll use it to buy data. So I was using 2,500 naira to get both credits and data. And I'll use those credit to cold call. Like, I would go to Instagram, look for every business page, right? Send them DMs that, look, I provide videos, what's up, what's up. Out of like 50 messages, 5 will respond and say, hey, this is not the appropriate channel, but if you really want to do video with us, reach out to this email. This is our marketing department. This is our corporate comms department. And I was getting leads like that. Data, and also Glow did this thing whereby they'll give me free YouTube time. So there's data and there's YouTube time, like maybe like 3 hours of YouTube. And I would watch tutorials. And I've been able to go from a business that charges 5,000, 10,000 naira for a shoot to as high as 5 million naira for a shoot. Do you understand? In the space of 4 to 5 years. So I'm saying, like, and this is just me, one example. And the maximum number of clients I can work on till I'm burnt out is 5 clients a week out of 200 million. Say out of 200 million people, only 1 million people, let's say the 1% are empowered. That's still 1 million Nigerians. Out of 1 million Nigerians, competition, I can only eat 5. So that's to show you the endless possibilities that are happening in this country. But like I said, poverty is a distraction. When you don't have food to eat, you don't have anywhere to sleep, you can't be creative, you can't think of how to make money. All you just think of is Nigeria is hard and I want to go outside. And most times when you now relocate, you now realize that
The opportunities here.
I know one guy that pays my yearly rent monthly, and the size of his apartment is 25% the size of my friend's apartment.
Where abroad?
Yeah, in the
No,
UK.
you can't compare.
Do you get?
that.
So those are some of the things that I'm talking about. Do you get? Like, yes, Nigeria is bad, but you really need to go out there to really realize that, okay, there are still some good things happening to us in this country. Remember the ones that they said that some people are coming from the UK down to Nigeria to get some specialized health services because they found out that in the UK they have to wait 12 months till it's their turn.
There's
Do you
this
get?
guy on Twitter that died of cancer, and I think he had to wait 3 months before he could see a doctor in the ICU. 3 months. Crazy.
It's ridiculous. I feel all hope is not lost. Like, yes, Nigeria is bad. We can always be always speak good about your nation, and when you think positive, you see positive things. That's what I believe. Forget about the government.